Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And before we get into today's video, I keep forgetting to mention this at the start of my videos, but we do have a Discord server, so link in the description box below if you want to join our Discord server, and let's get straight into today's video. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be going over Sea Kings, the best Sea Kings in the game, and what they actually do in the game. Most people don't really understand how to acquire Sea Kings either. We're going to be looking at how you can acquire Sea Kings free to play. Also how to upgrade your Sea Kings, just basically everything about Sea Kings in general in the game. So I hope this will be a good guide for you guys. Alright, so Sea Kings are located in the Growth tab and they are at the very end here. You'll need, I think, level 52 or something to unlock them. This is just a basic overview of your Sea Kings. So these are the ones that I've unlocked that you'll see at the very start, and your overall stats for all your Sea Kings. Then you have the Sea King tab down here. So this is one you're going to be clicking on. On the left hand side, we have all the different Sea Kings in the game. So you can go through them and have a look at all the different Sea Kings and what they do. They're not really in any particular order from like strongest to weakest. Alright, so next up in the middle we have the reborn and combo options right here. I love this reborn option. This is absolutely amazing. You can just get all the materials back. So whenever you get a better Sea King, you just click on this, get rid of one of your lower Sea Kings. Maybe you're free to play and you have the free to play Sea Kings. We'll talk about those ones a little bit later. You can just click on one of them and then you can get all your resources that you used on that Sea King back. As you can see, 100%. It does cost a little bit of gems. 100 gems is literally nothing. I think it might cost a little bit more if you click on the... I'm not going to do it obviously, but I think it might cost a little bit more than 100 gems. There's no way it costs 100 gems. But yeah, I really love this feature in this game. The reborn option for characters and Sea Kings is just the best feature in the game in my opinion. You can just transfer from a trash character and you can just transfer all the items and all the materials you used on them to a really good character. It's just amazing. Best feature in the game. Next up we have is the combo, which on every single Sea King there will be a combo. Some will need 2 Sea Kings in order to activate the combos. They just raise their stats and yeah, just raise their basic stats and their other stats. So if you click on Charizard, he'll have the same one with Kraken. So in order to unlock this one, you'll need Kraken and Charizard unlocked. The other ones, I believe, are just themselves. As you can see, I've unlocked the first 2 of this one because I have 3-star of Bo Hancock's ship. I think all the other ones just have themselves, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so they aren't really... It's just Kraken and um, Charizard in the game that actually have a combo. Oh no, these 2 do. The 2 free-to-play ones have a combo as well. These are 2 free-to-play ones. The cow and the Inshore King. I will go over those a little bit later. Alright, then next up on the right hand side, you have your stats for your Sea King that you've chosen. So Charizard, we have 1 star at the moment. These are his basic stats. Then on the right here, Divine Forge. Now this is how you upgrade your Sea Kings. You have to use these Kaiju um, gems or whatever they're called. Stones, sorry. So you have your basic ones, your medium ones, your advanced ones. The basic ones increase the HP of your Sea King. The medium one increases the attack, as you can see, and the advanced one increases the defense. Obviously, you want to focus on the first 2 as they grant the most crew rating. Defense doesn't really grant that much crew rating, unfortunately. Then you have your progress bar. So for the next level, whenever I get him to 2 stars, I'll need 3,462 of the basic, I'll need 433 of the medium, and so on and so forth. So you can see what we need for each one. If we move to my Yudo one, as you can see, I've completely maxed out the 3rd tier of the medium and advanced runs, and I'm still working on the basic tier for the 3rd tier. And then we have the Divine Forge talent, so when they reach certain tiers in the Divine Forge. So once I complete that tier 3, it'll gain a bonus effect. So the Seeking will basically get a more damage, higher amplification. So deal more damage. Then you have down the bottom here, the last thing on the tab you have is the skills for the Seekings. You have how much it costs here on the right hand side. That's how much it costs in each battle. By the way, you can have 3 Seekings in total in the battle. And then as you can see, their skills are enhanced based on the amount of stars you have for the characters. So the first one, as you can see for Yudas, it'll be 150% damage while rendering the front row line to take ultimate resistance by 10%, reduces their ultimate resistance, sorry, by 10%, and the rear row reduces ultimate damage by 10%. This cannot be stacked and will last until the end of the battle. And then if you go down, you have much higher and obviously better skills right here. It's 170% damage, disperses the buff status of everyone in the line, while rendering the front row to raise all damage received by 30% and the rear row reduced all damage dealt by 30%. That's literally all the damage. Alright, so that's basically the rundown of Seeking. So whenever you unlock a Seeking, the crew rating that you get is about 280,000 if I remember correctly. It has been a while since I actually unlocked a Seeking. I do need to unlock my 3rd Seeking. And then I think it's 280k per Seeking at 1 star. And then obviously as you start them up, you get more and more crew ratings. Obviously, you can have 3 Seekings, so that's 280,000 times 3. So you can get a lot of crew rating from this. Alright, let's go over what are the best Seekings in the game, in my opinion. So the best Seeking in the game, in my opinion, is this one right here. I'm not going to even bother pronouncing the name, but as you can see, the skill costs 0. Now what does that mean? The skill costing 0 means it automatically activates at the very start of the battle. So as soon as you go into a battle, it will just automatically activate. Even before anyone attacks, it will just automatically activate. This is why this is the best Seeking in the game, because if you read what it says, you gain 100 points of rage to everyone, and then your front row will deal 5% more damage basically, and the resistance rate of rear row will be 5% stronger. And then when receiving Seeking attack, there's a 15% chance to reduce the received Seeking damage by 30% for 2 turns. The main part about this is you're already gaining a significant boost to your team, so you're already gaining a significant advantage at the start of the battle before your opponent already is. I have had trouble in some battles when versing the Seeking, and I don't actually have the Seeking, and they get their ultimates off faster than I do because they obviously gain 100 points and I don't gain any, and they also gain like more damage and resistance rates. So you're just getting a massive boost at the start of the battle for literally free. And then obviously down the bottom, you get the skill reduced to 2 turns, and then it also raises 300 points of rage, 10% resistance rate, and 10% damage rate. When receiving, there is also a 50% chance to reduce the Seeking damage by 45% for 2 turns. The biggest one down here is there's also 50% chance to prevent the enemy to use Seeking skills for 2 turns. That's huge. Absolutely massive. Like, just imagine they can't use their Charizard skill for 2 turns. It's just insane. And then if they do, you have a 50% chance to reduce their damage by 45%. This Seeking is by far the best one in the entire game. I wish I had gotten this one first because it is by far the best overall Seeking in the game. Obviously Charizard, in my opinion, is the second best, but the best damage dealing Seeking in the game. As you can see, he deals 120% damage while increasing the Seeking damage taken by the target by 30%. He's very good. You always want to put his skill second. I don't know if I talked about this, but you can go back to the message tab and you can put your Seeking skills in order for the battle. So obviously you want the 0 guy first. And then if you have Charizard, you obviously want Charizard to be the next Sea King to go because he amplifies the third Sea King's damage by a certain percentage based on his star level. As you can see, 30%, 40%, and then it just goes down. He's at 5-star, absolutely amazing. Reduces by 2 turns, rear row 120%, and then increases C damage taken by 40%. This is why you always want him first. You want him to get out there, get the 40% extra Sea King damage, so when your next Sea King comes in, it does 40% more damage. And then it reduces their crit rate by 20%, and then causes also burning effect. So if you're running the burning team with Big Mom, this Sea King is 100% needed. And unfortunately, the burning effect is only at 5 stars, so it will be very hard to get because Charizard is one of the hardest Sea Kings to get in the entire game. Unfortunately, the only way to get him that I've seen in the last year is you have to spend money to get him, unfortunately. They haven't really put him in the top of Laugh Tower event, which is the only event that you can actually get Sea Kings in the game. They've never put it, I think they've only put him in there once, I've heard. But since I've played the game for over a year, they've never put him in there, so you cannot get this guy free to play, unfortunately. Maybe they'll put him in there eventually, or maybe they'll put him back in there, because apparently he's been in there, but yeah, apparently he's really hard to get in the game and really hard to upgrade, so just keep that in mind. But however, he is amazing at 1-star. Like, absolutely amazing. He does so much damage. Then next up, after those two, it really depends. Obviously, if you're going Charizard, you do need Kraken for the combo. Then after that, you can go Yuda, which I really like. You can also go the healing one, the Island Healer if you want. For healing, I think the Island Healer could be good for block raid team if you're running Hiyori and Odin. Just increases the healing and everything and keeping your block raid team alive, so it's even more annoying. But yeah, the best two in the game are definitely these two. Alright, so that's these 5 basically right here. So you have this as the number 1, you have Charizard in my opinion the second best, and then the other 3 basically it's completely up to you. What you have, if you have Charizard, obviously you want to get Kraken for the combo. If you don't have him, then maybe Yuda. If you have block raid team, maybe healing one. It's completely up to you. Those 3 are basically tied as third. And then next up for the bottom 3, we have Zunisha and then the 2 free-to-play ones. Obviously, the 2 free-to-play ones are at the very bottom because they're just free-to-play and they're not insanely great. They're okay. But let's talk about Zunisha now. Zunisha is the newest Sea King. However, he's very, very paid to play. Like, he is terrible at low stars. Complete garbage at low stars. Like, look at his effect. He does no damage. He does 40% damage. And then you have a 25% chance. It's just all RNG to apply silence. It's just, again, 35% chance, still dealing 40% damage. And then it's just, at 3 stars, he's okay. Like, he catches up to the other ones. Deals 50, I mean, he still does no damage. There's 35% chance to apply silence effect. All damage dealt by all enemies reduced by 10%, including Sea Kings. That's all damage. That's pretty nice at 3 stars. However, you gotta consider with this guy's ability, you're getting damage rate and resistance rate, so it's basically the same thing at 10%. It's just, he's just not that great at low stars. Once you get him to 4 or 5 stars, he's can be very, very good. Probably the best in the game at 4 or 5 stars. Probably at 5 stars, 100% the best in the game. But yeah, he is not free to play friendly, and you need to get him up to at least 3. I'd say 4 or 5 stars, but at least 3 stars in order to make use out of him. So I don't really recommend Zunisha, as he's very well heavy. Alright, so next up we have the two free-to-play ones, the Inshore King and the Sea Cow Momo. I think that's how you say it. These two are okay. Alright, they are very decent when you get them up to about 4, 5 star. Maybe even, I'd say 3 star at least. Even 3 star, they're decent. But obviously the other ones outshine them later in the game. You can get them from Server Vanquisher Warshop, or one of the Vanquisher Warshops, for free. So if you're free to play, do max these two out, because the other ones are much harder to get, and you can only get them from the top of the Laugh Tale event, which I will go over in a separate video when that event comes out. But the Inshore one does has a chance to stun, which is very nice. So it deals 120% damage, which is nice, while reducing the target's attack by 10%, which is very nice. 30% chance to stun. 15% attack, 35%. So you really want him up to at least 3 stars. Because then you're getting the 20% attack reduction. You're getting a 40% chance to stun. And then there is also an 80% chance to cause the target with the highest attack to be stunned for 1 turn. So he's actually very decent with the stunning effects. And then you have 45%, 90% chance, 25%. Yeah, they're very good at least 3 stars. But below 3 stars, they're not that great. Once you get them to 3, 4, 5 stars, they're actually pretty decent. Then the Sea Cow Momo, he actually does a lot of damage. I think he's the highest hitting Sea King in the game, actually. So attacks the enemy unit with the lowest HP, dealing 200% while restoring the rage of the friendly unit with the highest attack by 100 points. It's okay, it's very nice, does a lot of damage. And then increases the second tier, doesn't really do too much, just increases rage by another 100. It's kind of whatever. When you finally get to 3, 4, and 5 stars, this is where it starts getting much better. So obviously you deal into damage for 200%, and then the rage of the friendly unit with the highest attack by 300 and HP by 10%. So it actually heals them by 10% HP. And then this one's 400 points, 15% HP. So don't sleep on these two. If you're free to play, these two are actually very good at 3 stars minimum. Zunisha, as I said, you need minimum 3 stars, preferably 4 or 5 stars to even make him work. Then the other ones, obviously, the bird one, in my opinion, is the best in the entire game because it activates at the very start of the battle, so you're already getting an advantage. You're getting your ultimates first, you're getting damage reduction, damage bonus, and then obviously Charizard, in my opinion, is the second best in the game, but also the hardest to acquire in the entire game. Alright, so that'll wrap up the Sea King video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video of the rundown of all the Sea Kings and what my opinion is the best Sea Kings in the entire game. Yeah, the only way to acquire Sea Kings, as I said, is in the top of the Laugh Tale event, and I will do a video on that when that comes out, so do keep an eye out for that video. And to get the upgrade material, the only way to get those is from either events. You can get them from ranking Vanquisher rewards, and you can also exchange them in this exchange shop from Vanquisher as well. Alright, so I hope the video was helpful for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.